First, we're now joined by Super Bowl champ Cris just going over his workout regimen with us.
Yeah, well, it's easy to do a little bit every day than to go to the gym and try to work out for 2 or 3 hours.
Literally my mantra in life.
Exactly.
Like, that's it. That's all I've got.
Do a little bit. Rome wasn't built in a day. Just a little bit every day.
Speak for yourself.
Stop.
I'm having trouble doing it every day.
Yeah, I mean, listen. And we were talking like Cris is in an odd spot as a former pro athlete who was so big as a player, so big and strong that if he stops working out, it ruined. You know what I mean? It ruins him. I stop working out. It's like, oh, you never started. You're fine. The only negative of me not working out is listening to Jenna criticize me for it. But
every day.
Whatever. I'll deal.
Yes,
no problem.
and you continue to do that.
I'll deal with the remote, right?
Bet you didn't know this, but quarterback contracts are all the rage these days. That and gaming consoles, apparently. Jimmy G got over $130 million for 5 wins. Kirk Cousins got $84 million guaranteed. Case Keenum got $36 million for having me as a fan. Next up, Aaron Rodgers. ESPN's Adam Schefter implied Rodgers might not do the Packers any favors in negotiating an extension. Why? Well, they did get rid of his quarterback coach in Alex Van Pelt, and they did get rid of his favorite target in Jordy Nelson. So, Cris, I ask you, should Rodgers do the Packers any favors when it comes to contract negotiations?
No way.
No.
Why should he do them any favors when they haven't done him any favors? I mean, look at the supporting cast that he's had to work with this past decade. He's only had one top 10 defense. That was the group that went to the Super Bowl in 2010. He's only had one top 10 rushing attack. That was 2013, Eddie Lacy's first year before he ate himself out of town. So if you look at what they've put around Aaron Rodgers, Ted Thompson did not do a good job of building the roster. And you're not taking advantage of having the most skilled quarterback our game has ever seen. So it doesn't make sense for Aaron Rodgers to give them any kind of hometown discount. I'm not on board with that. This is going to be a record-breaking deal. It's going to be over $30 million on an average annual value. And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised to see something outside of the box from Aaron Rodgers in terms of how they tie his compensation to the salary cap. Because if there was any player in the NFL that warrants that kind of contract, it would be Aaron Rodgers.
So I want to explain to the audience what Cris is talking about, and it's not just like a crazy theory. This is something that's been floated, that we've heard that it might be tied to the salary cap. And what that means is, here's what Aaron Rodgers makes: 18% of the cap. So for simplicity's sake, if the cap's $180 million, so 18% of that, he's going to make $32 million and change a year, right? Like, and then, by the way, when it goes up to $200 million, 18% of that is $36 million. So that way it escalates as the cap goes up, and we've never seen a player do that. Players' salaries are just static.
That's the NBA model.
The NBA model, okay, that's a great point, actually. The NBA model for the Superstar Max contract is it's 35% of the cap,
35%,
depending on how long you've invested in the league. Here is
Well, the football has wanted more like NBA type contracts, so maybe this could be the start.
So here's the thing, and CC and I got into this when the Jordy Nelson deal happened, and I said, if there's any player in the league that deserves a LeBron James style deference from their organization, it's Aaron Rodgers. And CC pounded the table and said, basically, that's not how it's done in the NFL. You don't ask the players about personnel decisions. And I get it. I understand that Aaron Rodgers isn't watching film. Coach Mangini talked about how Ty Law would want to be a part of the game plan. And he would say, okay, the meeting's at 8 a.m. You're welcome to show up. And Ty would say, I don't want to do that. Okay, I get that that's not how it's done. But there are consequences to every action. And one of the consequences might be Aaron Rodgers said, okay, you guys don't want me to be treated as if I'm an equal member of the front office? Then guess what front offices worry about? Salary caps. Guess what players worry about? Getting my money. It's your job to figure out the cap. It's your job to put the team around me. It's my job to execute every ounce of leverage I have to get the most money possible. Now, maybe he would feel that way either way, but I don't think the moves they've made, the removal of Alex Van Pelt, moving on from Jordy Nelson, have made Aaron Rodgers feel like, oh, yeah, hometown discount, here I come. It's illogical to me that he would.
Look, am I going to be mad or disappointed if Aaron Rodgers gives them a break? Because, look, he said he wants to finish his career in Green Bay. He obviously loves it there. If a couple $1 million is separating an offer from another team in Green Bay and he stays, I won't be mad at him. But I am with you guys on not giving them a break, because this new regime, they've been active in free agency. I like the Jimmy Graham signing. I like getting Muhammad Wilkerson. But they've been all business. They didn't talk to Rodgers when they got rid of his quarterback coach. from what the reports say, they talked to him after they decided to get rid of Jordy Nelson, not before. After they did, I don't know if it was before they actually cut him and pulled the trigger.
I mean, they had made the decision.
They had made the decision. They had made the decision. So they're dealing strictly business, okay? We're not getting emotional, no tie, no sentimental ties. We got to cut you, Jordy. Bye. And it may hurt a little bit, but it's helped them, I think, in getting a couple of good players. They cleared the room to get Muhammad Wilkerson. So now Aaron needs to take the same tack. Okay, so it's all business. All right, don't worry. Don't look for me to be all lovey-dovey and, hey, you've been here so long. Again, for his personal sake, if he wants to stay there for a little less, okay. But be business-like with these guys. And I do think he will, because he's seen how they're working.
Treated him a little differently. Would you be okay with it? Are you for giving a team a hometown discount?
No, I'm not for giving a team a discount.
That's what I'm picking up on.
I'm with the players on this one. I'm not going to do that.
If you just wanted to be somewhere and you loved it where you were playing, would you give a little bit of a discount?
I mean, quality of life matters, so I'm not going to completely dismiss that aspect of it. But when you're in Aaron Rodgers' position and you see what the organization has done and their approach this offseason, I mean, you can't fault Aaron Rodgers for exercising every bit of leverage that he possibly can. And then you start hearing some of the sound bites coming out of that organization talking about, we're going to do what's in the best interest of the Green Bay Packers long term. Mark Murphy making those comments down at the owners' meeting this weekend in Orlando. When you hear stuff like that, Aaron Rodgers is like, okay, if that's how we're going to play this game, then this is exactly what I'm going to do. And outside of every other position, quarterback is the one position in the NFL where you can dictate to the organization.
And I want to remind the audience something, because the audience always seems to take management's side in this thing. I've never understood this about sports fans. The vast majority of us don't own a business. The vast majority of us aren't management. We are labor, yet when it comes to sports, fans are always pro-management as opposed to pro-labor. The owners locked the players out. Why? Because they did not want the salary cap to grow too much. They did not want the players to have 52, 54, 56% of total revenue. Guess what? You could pay Aaron Rodgers $35 million a year, still put players around him. If the salary cap were $220 million, the players would love for the salary cap to be $220 million. What we see in pro sports all the time, the NBA and the NFL particularly, is the owners fight and claw to depress the salary cap and then cry poor to the players. Then say, oh, can you take a little less money? We want to put a winner around you. We want to put good teammates around you. Okay, you know how you can do that? Don't lock us out to get it to 48%. Let it be 51% of football revenue. Let it be 54% of total revenue. Then we can pay everybody. Like, you don't get to fight to have the salary cap low and then cry poverty when the salary cap being low prevents you from being able to put a winner on the field.
If Aaron Rodgers only has one Super Bowl appearance, to your point, Nick, about the team around him, that's franchise malpractice by Mark Murphy and the Green Bay Packers.
No question.
That's a good point. All right, Chris, stick around. Coming up, could the Giants really move on from Odell? It's our top story this morning. It's next on First Things First.
Don't mean to channel my inner Russell, but that fires me up, man.